And Sue, I think it's time for you to make an appearance. This is Sue Ferguson. Sue is going to have one of these amazing crowns in heaven. I think. She's one of these people who likes to just slip into the background, but my goodness, God does not see you in the background, Sue. She's a servant of the kingdom. So what we've done, if you can put on my slide, Robin, this is, I can't say it's my slide, Kat Moore has made this slide for us, and it represents the aspects of our partnership, Sue, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But not all that obvious. Some of them are more obvious than others. So we're just going to play a little bit of a game and see if you can guess what these symbols mean. Sue and I have it written in red here, just in case. Yes. But if you look at the top, it says ERC and BBC together. So we've got this partnership with ERC Church, a relationship of many years, actually. But we've kind of formalised it with a little partnership agreement earlier on this year.
Yeah, February. Yeah, yes. February.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about ERC before we start to guess at these symbols?
Oh, goodness. Well, I think we started off together as one church back in about 1929. Yeah. And then you built up a church here. So some of the folk left to come here. And there have been about 2 or 3 instances where we've nearly come together as one church. And just a personal reflection, just as I was sitting there, I think I first came to here in a group called Rendezvous. And it's lovely to see Mary and Keith there because they were the leaders then when I was in my 20s. So that's how long ago I've had a natural sort of connection here, and I just feel completely at home. I know your kitchen back to front, so I'm very familiar with you all, and you just seem like church family to me. I don't see any difference. So we've been gradually coming together a little bit more officially, I suppose, through the years. But it's been a very natural thing. It's not been forced at all. It's not from above saying you do this. It's from within, from the church family.
Absolutely.
So it's absolutely natural.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
But that's amazing, actually.
Yeah.
In your 20s.
Yes, and see Keith and Mary. Yes, that's just such a reminder to see you there.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
It's really lovely. So we're going to start at the top, BBC and ERC together, and then move to, our right. Does anybody want to have a guess at what that cup and bread, communion, more specifically, Thursday communion. We have a joint Thursday communion, which we're having an experiment.
We are, yes, at the moment, alternating between the 2 churches on a Thursday.
Yeah. So I don't know, is it first and third here and second and fourth
Yes,
there?
yes, right. Starting in September now. So,
so that's a 10 o'clock communion, and anyone's welcome, 10 o'clock every Thursday morning, if you want to pop along. Then the next one, a little bit more difficult to guess. Does anybody want to guess what that next little image with the blue and green churches is while I look at my list?
Yes, quite. Oh, yes.
Guesses? Oh, an online service. Could be an online service. It could, but it's not. It's it's that there are quite a lot of people who attend both, such that we've kind of stopped asking which they belong to. We've just said, you know what? Yeah. We're all one church, and in heaven it's not going to matter. It's not going to be one door for the people from ERC and one door for from BBC. So we have lots of people who attend, and there's lots of pastoral care overlap that happens between the churches because they have a shorter and a quieter service up there, which lots of people appreciate. The next one's a little bit more obvious, isn't it?
Yeah. Yes, bit of a clue there.
It's the 3 p.m. service. So we have a monthly. Do you want to talk about the 3 p.m. service, or shall I talk about that one?
I've just been coming along as a visitor, really. So just seeing how you do it.
So it's a short, I think it's 45 minutes, once a month, on the first Sunday of the month. We're doing this joint service. And again, because it's shorter, the preaching's shorter, everything's shorter actually, and there's a bit of a creative bent to it. And that is led at the moment by Elaine. Well, there's a team.
Yes.
Elaine, Marion, Deacon, Rosie Featherstone, and I think John and Chris, and there's lots of people involved in supporting that.
And tea and cake.
Tea and cake. How could I forget? Thank you, Sue. Right. Do you want to talk about the next one? Does anybody want to have a guess at the next one? The little hand, and that's a little symbol for, it's a computer symbol, isn't it? Huh? Technology, well, it would, technology, it's how technology serves us, but this is about how we serve one another, isn't it? Do you want to talk about
So it's Golden Years,
Yeah.
which I suppose it's about, I don't know, Emma remind me, about 3 or 4 years ago that the Monday Club stopped, and we decided, and that was quite a brave decision for you, that you'd meet on a Wednesday. So then we sort of dovetailed so that the first and the third Wednesday is the Golden Years meeting here for the slightly older members of the congregation, and then we're the second and the fourth. And we have meetings together so that we've got a similar vision, really, where obviously we want to present Jesus to the people who come, but there's a lot of crossover there. We see the same people at both. Some people only come to one, and it's very much a going forward. And yeah, it's exciting to see new people come along. And Elizabeth is very stalwart, and she does both sometimes. So we so appreciate what she does, and that all the team really make that happen. So it's a really, really good time together. And there's so many in their 90s now. I remember looking at one table, I think I counted 7 who were over 90 on that table. I'm very, very with this as well. So yeah, it's great.
And tea and cake.
And tea and cake.
There's tea and cake at Golden Years. Yeah, and that one on the other side is that there are folks who serve both churches. So you'll see Jenny Poole playing the piano there, she'll see her playing here, and we have a bit of a flow back and forward, and we're hoping to build a bit more of a preaching team so that we've got a bit more of a shared pool of preachers, because at the moment we're a bit lacking in preachers, but there's a plan afoot for that one. So if we go around the next one, actually, well, that is what I've already mentioned, preaching and leading. We try to do that between us, and Elaine and Rosie are involved in that too. But as I say, we need to try to increase that team, because you're a little bit low on preachers at the moment, and as are we. So the next one, does anybody want to have a go at what that loudspeaker might represent? Speak up. Mission? That's a good one, isn't it? It's not mission. It's publicity. It's shared publicity. So Kat in our church office and Nicole in the church office at ERC try to communicate with the two churches so that they advertise stuff that their folks might be interested in that's here, and we advertise stuff that our folks might be interested in that's there. It's good, isn't it? Yeah. Coordination. Yeah.
And share what you're doing so we can publicise it. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So we have a little meeting now and again, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Nick
Yes.
And you and I. And then there's the next thing, which is a bit more obvious, Anna chaplaincy. Do you want to say something about Anna?
So I suppose that's been in evidence these last few weeks, because we've had the holiday at home, which everybody, I believe, has really enjoyed that. So that's something that Liz Tapp has organised and done it brilliantly, I have to say. So that's been quite exciting to see 1 or 2 people from outside coming as well. I think one of the most popular things was the deck games, because we were pretending we were on a ship. So it's holiday at home, from ship to shore it was called. So that was very popular. And the food, well, we had Ben coming from the Anchor, and he was very good with his food. So we had fish and chips and a choice of desserts. And again, that went down very well, I have to say. So we're hoping that we'll see.
There's a bit of eating in this partnership, isn't there?
Right, with our church, eating seems to feature quite a lot, actually. Yes.
Yeah.
So that's, but full marks. But also, of course, they work in the local care home at Liberham Lodge, quite a ministry there, and some of you are very much involved with that. And again, it's different people across the churches who go regularly into Liberham Lodge, and they have hymn singing, and they're also visiting, and really building up a relationship with the older folk who are more isolated in their homes. So not so much the people within our churches, that's partly it, but it's more trying to reach out to people who are homebound. And a great job that the Anna Friends, who link in, and some of those who are here today, link in with that as well.
Yeah. Yes. Interestingly, Liz Tapp, our Anna chaplain, she's been asked to take a funeral, and she's never taken a funeral. So her and I had a meeting last week, and we sort of were running through all the basics of running a funeral. And John Leonard and Chris and I, Sue and I, decided, I think it might be good to have a training session on how to take a funeral. So you see, if you look at your Friday news in the next few weeks, there's going to be an advert for Little Morning. And if you think you might be somebody who would enjoy taking a funeral, then come along. Have a session on how
I think the great thing with that is you're connecting in with the family. That's what we found over the years, that you get to know the family members and you build up a relationship which does actually carry on even when their loved ones have passed away.
Yeah. So I'm quite excited about that. And the other thing, the last thing to mention, which has been added recently, that I'm really excited about, is we're starting, our core preaching team is starting a Preachers Academy. Thank you, Dan. I'm going to say it again, and more people are going to do it. So our core preaching team are starting a Preachers Academy. Yes! I'm really quite excited about it. We've invited about 20 people, and that definitely spans both churches. Some folks there, folks here, going to get together, and there's going to be a lot of peer learning. Nobody's setting themselves up as the expert and other people the learners. We're all going to be learners together, lifelong learners, and learning about what we've already learned and those things that we still need to learn, like stopping preaching the way I preach, where I suddenly think, oh, I'm finished, I'll go and sit down, and give the service leader a little bit of a warning that I'm coming into land. So that's some of what our partnership is. There's a lot more informal...
Yeah, come and see courses, actually, I just forgot about
come
those.
See courses.
Yes, we did that together, didn't we? Yes, yeah. So
there's endless potential, actually. Yes. And one of the things Nick said to me a few months ago was, for years and years and years, ERC's been the small church and BBC's been the big one. But actually, there's a much more parity of resources in the last few years. And they've more feeling, or Nick was saying, he was feeling that they could actually support us in a way that for a long time they haven't felt that we've needed support. And so I think there's a mutuality now that maybe there hasn't been for quite a long time. Yeah. So I was going to pray, but I think you just get a lot of my voice. Who wants to come and pray for our partnership? Thank you, Thomas. You are one who flows between one church and another, aren't you? A lot. So pray for the partnership. Bless you.
Oh, Holy Father, you brought us together because you love us so much. And we pray, Lord, that this partnership will go on in your love. And we join in many things together. And we praise you for it. Amen.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Sue.